All right, so y'all know how to get me started. First thing, I come out and get what the hell is falsehood finder? I don't know who the hell you are, but I know one thing. I know you're a liar. So that's all I need to know about you, buddy. Uh, there's a lot of things I'll change. I'll change when I wake up. I'll change some of the things I do, trying to make myself better. But damn if
Wait,
I ever
last I checked, you weren't part of any party.
no, they both suck. They both suck.
All right, that's enough of the political portion of the
Yeah.
show. Yeah, just trying to get you started is all it is.
Yeah, they both suck. I would never identify with either one of them. I gotta get better. You think after all the trips I've made that I would be pretty good at making trips this weekend? What's the one thing a YouTuber can't forget on a trip?
Well, the camera is probably the one thing you forgot. I'm guessing.
I mean, I get down there and I've got the good cameras, but nothing. The GoPro, I've got the new mount, I've got the new batteries, I've got the new everything. No freaking GoPro, man. I was so pissed. What up, Johnny?
Another day.
Damn, dude, how much weight have you lost now?
I know. I was just thinking the same thing, man.
70 pounds.
Shit.
Sweet.
Yeah, not seeing you a week, it really shows.
Thanks.
And so, what's your total goal? Just
now I just live healthy. I eat shit like this.
Atkins bars, yeah.
I just reduced my calories is all I did.
All right, so where is this house? Where the hell are you now?
My house.
Okay, so
We'll be in the RV next within 2 weeks.
within 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm down to 211. I've lost 22 or 22, 23 right in there.
I'm on the wrong show.
I was 207 yesterday.
That it makes a huge difference. So running around, so doing retail arbitrage the first day, Friday when it rained, the 6 hours of rain turned into 14 hours of rain. And I did like 15,000 steps for the day. It's like 14,007 something. And if I was not on keto, if I was eating sugar, I'm telling you, that would have been awful. I'd have been hurting bad. Harlan, to tell you the stories, I told him one day, I'm like, you know what? When I went on keto last time, and it's happening again this time, I'm like, you know what? It's not my shoes that hurt my feet. It's my fat ass that hurt my feet. Mm-hmm. Shoes aren't comfortable because, yeah, I'm too big. Let me see if this will go out. Are you going out for real this time?
No.
They were in there asleep, and this camera died on me, so I had to go in and get another one because not only can I not get this camera to work, I can't get the FaceTime camera either, so I had to go in and get another one. I tried restarting and carrying on. I tried everything. Nothing worked. But man, the way I feel, I got a public service announcement for everyone, so just sit back and listen to this, all 61 of you. It's sad watching Kevin don't have a stroke in your 50s. Go to the fucking doctor.
Who?
Idaho Hillbilly he had a stroke last week about this time. Hadn't been to a doctor in 37 years. Didn't realize he had high blood pressure and was diabetic. Folks, I'm telling you, I've got a brother-in-law who all he does is watch TV every day. He can't use the left side of his body. He can barely walk, can't drive. He's homebound. Don't be that guy. Life is too short. There's too many wonderful things out here. I have been praying very hard for Kevin. He is getting better, and his videos, he's doing videos again, and I pray he continues to recover at the pace that he's doing now. He was very, very fortunate that the kitty drug his ass to the hospital, and this ain't right. You're not right. We got to go. She's very fortunate. She did a very good job. The sooner you react to a stroke, the better your long-term prognostication is. It's not that bad, folks. I talked a little bit about it the other day on Tom's show. I take the same blood pressure medicine I've taken since I was 22 or 23. It's not that big a deal. You just take it and be done with it. Folks, take care of yourself. I promise you'll thank me for it. Even if everybody, all these guys are so scared. Oh my gosh, the doctor's going to do the finger. Would you rather have colon cancer and poop in a damn bag for the rest of your life? I'm not going out that way. Sorry. They said I needed to get colonoscopies every 3 years now. Okay, I'll take a colonoscopy every 3 years, but there's not that big a deal. The worst part is the couple hours on the toilet.
I spent a couple hours on the toilet anyway. What's the difference?
This is well, Silver Hair Stacker asked if I feel better. I probably haven't taken a nap in probably 3 months. It's just, I feel so much different. And you've seen me at like ASD. I mean, I can go all day. When I was heavy, I could go all day. And imagine what I can do now.
Ain't nobody gonna keep up with you now.
I mean, ASD was like, we got done ASD and we had to go to dinner, and we were like, screw the Uber, we'll just walk. And we walked 2 miles to dinner.
I tell John, I'll tell you the same thing I told you in person. I'll tell the audience, and you've got to take this serious. The reason, stuff wears out when you're on keto. If you're heavy, look around in the 60s, between the mid 50s to mid 60s, heavy people go away. There aren't very many heavy people in their 70s. I like having John around. I told him I'm glad he's on this diet and he's doing very successful, because if you don't get this stuff off, it causes so many problems. They're not that many. When's the last time you saw a big 70-year-old? Not a lot.
No. It's not hard. I went on that program. I went on a program that was very restrictive because it's what I needed. Now, my wife, she wanted to stay with it. So we stayed with it for whatever we did, 4 or 5 months. But once I got the hang of getting my calories way down from where I was, I didn't have any problems. And I had fish and chips on Monday. I mean, I still eat the not the healthiest of foods. I'll have fish and chips for lunch, but it's one time in 3 months.
And I bet your portion size is not the same either.
Oh, hell, I could eat on a saucer now. I don't eat much at all.
It doesn't matter which way you. I mean, there's different diets out there, different things. You've got to figure out what works for you to be a lifestyle, because you got to figure out something that works.
Well, first thing you have to do is throw that diet word out the window, because it's like it gives you a target. I'm going to lose this weight, and then I can go back to what I was doing. I'm watching my daughter get that freaking needle, and she's down 60 pounds. And I said, okay, that's great. How are you going to keep it off? because she orders the same foods and nothing's changed. And she's
Right.
like, well, I'm worried about that. So the doctor's going to keep me on a much lower dose for a year. Well, all that's doing is pushing the can down the street. Until you change your lifestyle, you're not going to be able to change your health. But January 1st was the day that I said, this is, my health is going to come first.
Mark, scared of a blood test needle? There ain't
I
that
hate
much
that
to it.
freaking needle. There's not much that really gets will make me cringe a little. Pull out a blood where they get the tube that they need to take the blood out of my arm. It just makes me cringe every time.
This how much it bothers me. The veins in my arms roll and they have trouble with it. So they generally just take it out of my wrist. I don't care. It's just a little prick and you're done with it. I mean,
yeah, I don't like the thought of it, but I always go through with it. You have to.
Oh, I get the testing done. I mean,
yeah.
I'm going to the doctor for the first time in June, probably in 2.5 years. I'm a healthy fat guy.
I don't know what you should be more scared of dying. I think, because you didn't go to the doctor or something like that.
Right. That's 100%. How do you know whether you've got what you need to work on? How do you know? I mean, this whole show is not going to be about health, but the one thing that I can tell you about resellers is a lot of times we don't sedentary. You're out here listening, you're out here doing things, and you're not moving as much as you should, and it catches up with a lot of people. So, there's very few people I've met doing this that I don't like, and so I would like everybody to have a successful life. I'd like everybody to be in good health and do the things but a lot of it is within our control, and you have to do what is necessary. It's part of the business. How do you run the business and stay up on top of it if you're not in peak health? If you're not, we can talk about, retraining yourself to get up early and do a lot of the things. But if you're not physically in good shape because of choices you're making, these are choices you need to change too. I'm preaching to you because I've been trying to absolutely make them.
You have to make your life a priority. You can't worry about, listen, when we started this diet, we got so much crap from our friends because we were on chemical foods and they're no good for you and blah, blah, blah. Now they, when my wife hangs up with them, they go, boy, skinny mini. Well, my wife's down 40 some pounds and, my wife looks good. My wife didn't look this good when we got married. She smaller now than when we got married.
She changed her picture profile on Facebook the other day to an old picture. I'm like, that ain't freaking Lori.
Well, she wanted to show how much she's actually, because it started in 2020. She started walking. She started walking every day. She gets pissy if she doesn't walk for like 2 days. Like she can't walk today because it's, believe it or not, it's raining in the desert. We're getting our 1 day of rain today for the year. She won't be able to walk. She will not be happy.
Yeah, so Steven Strait says change is not easy, and Steven come on here and tell you he's lost as much as you have, John, and he goes. I see a lot of posts on Facebook on my way to the gym or I'm at the gym. It has to become a lifestyle, a mindset. It is not easy. It's something it gets easier though. Like I'm following keto again. I don't eat before 10. I don't eat after 6. So it's the 18-6. I can tell you if you do keto, your appetite goes away. I wake up, I'm not hungry. At 10 o'clock, I have to look at the clock and I go, oh yeah, it's time for me to grab something to eat. Because I was listening to an interesting doctor. The podcast was Dr. Huberman. And he had a guy on there that had been studying all this nutrition and one of the things he talked about was eating at the same time every day. Your body So if you eat at 10 o'clock or around 10 o'clock every day, your body prepares to eat and does things to get ready and secretes acids and other stuff in your stomach in anticipation if you do it at the same time. And so you're much more efficient. It was like 3 hours long. I'm like an hour and 45 minutes into it. That guy is crazy smart. Yes, Mark. Most days I'll drink a cup of coffee. I did not today.
I'll tell you, one of the biggest things I did was, I made an exception with the show eating at bar because it was just, I was due for a bar. I do not eat at the computer anymore. Even when I'm just having a bar, I sit at the table. I sit down and think about eating because what I found is that when I sat at the computer, I eat a lot more without even thinking about it.
So Mark, somebody said the Democrat keto is the word. I'm telling you right now, you've got to do some more reading and find people that you understand that in the 60s, the sugar industry and others spent a lot of money to fund their little studies to come up with the food pyramid. All that was bought and paid for, and the government just rubber stamped it and go, yep, that's what it is. That's, they were trying to make fat the demon. And so that's how they brought all this processed food and all this refined sugar and refined flour. And do a little bit of reading on through the 60s and how the influence of lobbying. Imagine that lobbyists did something else that wasn't good for us.
Well, I could tell you after, I guess we've been on this now almost 6 months, 5.5 months. My body rejects certain foods.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I haven't had any candy, but like French fries. If I have too many French fries, my body will tell me I had too many French fries. Just different foods. When we eat out, I'm very. It's not easy, but you have to make a conscious decision. It's just like being in business, though. If you make a conscious decision in business and you stick to it, you have results. It's the same with anything. If you put your mind to it and actually focus on it and make conscious decisions. When we go to a restaurant, Lori and I go, well, I'd like a sandwich today. We split a sandwich. It's not the end of the world for us to eat a half a sandwich. Now, and the other thing is we weigh ourselves every day. It sucks. I get up every morning, I step on the scale. It's not so that I can see how much weight I lost or gained. It's to make sure I'm staying in a safe range, that my eating habits aren't getting out of control. That I do it with my business. I get up every morning and I look to see what my sales were yesterday because I want to know that I'm in that range where I'm safe.
Yeah, the one thing that's helped me a lot to process this stuff is to understand. We are taught that about how great food tastes, and to gather around a meal and make a lot of memories through food. And if you really think about it, once you've eaten something, it doesn't matter. And 10 minutes after you've eaten, it doesn't. Your body's processing it. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you just ate. So make the choices in the beginning. I was on the road trip. I stopped and ate Wendy's. Just give me meat, cheese, and bacon. That's all and then met up with Albert, a good friend, and Jessup, and he picked a place. He's like, "Man, we're going to Western Sizzle." I'm like, "Oh, I ain't been there in years, but all right." And I did the bar because it was a Friday night steak bar, so I had sirloin steak and a salad. It did fine. Because I'm the same way, John, right now. If I eat sugar, I start feeling terrible. Tactical Z, I have not. It's freaking 25 degrees outside. but I will be as soon as it starts warming up. Because I can only walk around the neighborhood so much before I get so bored. The bike and riding around this area is going. I'll do that.
Well, that's my next step. Is I need a personal trainer. I'm gonna start going to the gym, and Lori and I are moving. For those that don't know, we're moving back into the RV. We're selling the house. We have a trip at the end of the month, and then when we get back from that, we have a cruise in June. And I was able to book a helicopter to land on the glacier in Alaska, which
that sounds
when
pretty.
we booked the trip, we weren't able to do because 250 was the max weight for a person.
So I couldn't do it.
It
Get
was,
to meet now.
I'll tell you what freaked me out was when we opened the RV up, I found a pair of 52-inch pants, and I'm a 40 now. I should be a 38, but I'm too lazy to go buy because I just bought the 40s last week. I'm not ready to buy another pair of pants. I'm getting tired. I buy new pants before I wash them, it feels like. I held those up and went, holy cow, man, I carried all that around.
Yeah, so we were talking to at last night at dinner, we were talking a little bit about weight and weight loss. And we're like, you realize, we told him, Tracy's like, I lost a small person. Think about carrying that around. Think about, 22 pounds is what I'm down so far since January 2nd. That's a lot. That is a lot of weight on joints. That's a lot of weight that's a lot of, especially your feet, folks. If you're heavy and your feet are hurting and your knees are hurting, I don't want knee replacements. I don't want any of that stuff. I'd rather eat correctly and lose this weight. My goal is to be 185. So, and if I go lower than that, I'm not going to stop eating keto. That's just the goal I have set for all my things that I've got around to remind me. It gives me a goal to go. But if I get there and I'm still losing weight, I'll move it down to 175, whatever it is.
Well, what I found is I'm at two. I've been down to like 205 and up to 207. I think this morning I was 206.8 or whatever it is. And I'm like, I've been there for like 30 some days. It's time for me to start exercising a little bit. See, my pains are worse now.
Yeah, Steven Stray said his back pain is all gone.
My pains in my hips are a lot worse now, and I got to go to the doctor. I'm probably going to have a hip replacement.
Garden of Ben, that is a great question. It happens a lot. I got one yesterday. So if you're on Amazon and you sell on Amazon and you buy your shipping through Amazon, if it's merchant fulfilled, they will tell them to open an A to Z claim. Amazon will find no cause and they will cover it. On eBay, as long as you've got tracking, they will side with the seller.
Regardless of where you bought the tree, because you could buy tracking through Pirate Ship for eBay and you're good. Amazon, you're probably going to want to stick with Amazon to be safe.
But it does happen. I had somebody say that it says it was delivered on March 4th, but it's not here. That was yesterday. I'm like,
I don't know why you wouldn't go with Amazon shipping anyway, just off topic, because
it's cheaper.
I sent out a DVD the other day. It was 10 cents cheaper sending it UPS than it was media mail. That's crazy.
Yeah, they've been really giving us some great discounts on UPS. Yeah. I shipped quite a few Monday, and out of 64, I think 11 went to the post office. Everything else went UPS, no matter whether it was first class or not.
I don't use Amazon shipping just because it's a pain in the ass.
I don't ship a lot, so it's very convenient. Same with eBay. It's convenience. I use it for convenience for me. But if I was a high volume seller, I probably on eBay would use something different.
So,
Probably
Sean,
pirate
if,
ship.
if you had an A to Z claim against you and the person never returned the item, that should have been an easy win. Amazon will side with you and say, "Hey, you got to return it."
Martha says, "Do you guys take extra vitamins?" I do not.
I do.
I take whatever my wife puts in the little thing every morning. Arsenic, I don't know.
I take
You got to
vitamins.
understand. I also did this. I mean, I had a reason to do this. I had a friend of mine who went in the hospital. We had the same waist and the same size, and something just told me he wasn't going to make it out of the hospital, and he passed away in the hospital. And I went, yeah, okay, I'm not going out like that. And every time I wanted something, I thought about him. It gave me drive to get the weight off. The one time that I did want to go off the rails, and I like sugar because I'm an alcoholic. I like just like real sugary candy and stuff. Lori, when my dad died, Lori was like, "You don't want to do that." And I had a sugar-free Jello and said, "Okay, I'm going to go to bed and sleep it off." And I got up and I didn't want the candy, and I got through it. But you have to make conscious decisions. It's just like business. There's no difference between my weight loss and my business. I got up one day and said, "Okay, I'm going to build a business, and this is how I'm going to do it." And I put my mind to it, and I did it. And my weight loss, when I sat down and said, "Okay, this is it, I'm going to do it," it hasn't been a problem. It's all up here.
Yeah, it's got to. See, I like when you told me you were going off the plan and going on your own. That's when I knew how serious you were about it, because I see so many people that do these plans, and then once a program, and there's nothing wrong, but it's the same thing your daughter is going to have. Is what do you do when you're done with the program? You haven't taught yourself a different. You haven't changed habits. You've just substituted the food you were eating, and can you replicate that? That's the problem.
I'm 30 pounds down. I'm 13 pounds down from when I went off the plan.
Oh,
so and my body's still reshaping. A lot of what you see is a reshaping, not so much weight loss.
Denise, I ship all DVDs. For the most part, I'll ship them in a bubble mailer. Unless they go, if they go above $30, I'll throw them in a box, just because, then I have an item that I don't want to lose the money in. But if it's under $30, it goes in a bulk mailer. If it's over $30, I'll throw it in an 8x6x4 box.
Agreed. Same thing.
And now to me, it's just a lifestyle. If we're going to have something that we really shouldn't be eating, we go out for it. I'm not bringing any potatoes or any starches into the house. If I had not French fries. I had tater tots last night with my dinner. They bring me out probably a pound of freaking tater tots. I took like 10 tots, put them on my plate, on the side of my plate. I had a burger with cheese, no roll, and I was fine. And when I got done those 10 tots, I never touched the other ones.
See, a lot of the key to, I think that really helps you, John, is with you and Lori are both doing it together.
Oh, yeah.
If your partner has to, which I don't know how yours does, but you, I couldn't do this by myself. So Monday night for dinner, Johnny asked me what I want for dinner. She's like, "I think we're going to have chicken Parmesan and noodles." I'm like, "All right." And I trust her so much. She's like, "And you're having the same thing?" I'm like, "All right." So when I get my plate, my noodles don't look like their noodles. She's like, "Yeah, you're getting spaghetti. You have spaghetti squash and not noodles," which I love spaghetti squash. And I look at it and go, I was like, "I didn't get as much tomato sauce on mine as you," which I'm just telling her it was perfectly great. And I said, "Why does the crust of my chicken?" I want her to explain to me. She has
pork rind
crust that she used on mine, and so it was
That
just
actually sounds good.
it was just simple substitutions. The pork rinds, it tastes like crust. You can't tell the difference. So I had chicken parmesan on spaghetti squash noodles, and they had, regular chicken parmesan on
Oh
noodles.
boy,
So
I Ben says microwave popcorn is the number one cause of Alzheimer's or something. I eat microwave popcorn every night. Oh boy, I'm in trouble.
So my wife is a wonderful cook, and she has taken it upon herself, because I've done low carb quite a few times. She does very well. So there was one extra one left over, so I'll eat. That's what I'll have for dinner tonight is a second helping of that, and then because I had wings last night. We do wings night every Wednesday Tuesday night. If you're in Huntsville, join us on wings night. I just ate wings. I had a light beer and a water. That was it for lunch. For breakfast / lunch. I'm experimenting with chaffles. So I had chaffles that were cheddar, and I made these with cream cheese, so they were more like bread. I think today I'm going to use egg whites instead of eggs, and I'm going to use mozzarella instead of cheddar. And then I'm going to put cheese on top, so it's going to make it like it's cheese toast, but it's going to have bacon mixed in too. So yeah, I just had one Miller Lite. It's got 3.2 carbs.
And the other thing is you got to find what you enjoy to eat. Lori and I have pizza every Friday night. I don't know if whoever follows me on Facebook sees it. I post it all the time. We found a cauliflower crust that we can buy at Walmart. We get 2 crusts for $7, and we get half a pizza. They're small. They're 10-inch, but we measure everything we put on it. It tastes good. We enjoy it. It tastes like pizza to us.
Yeah. So Steve and I'm seriously considering doing a 36-hour fast of not eating on Wednesdays anymore, and doing a fast on Wednesdays. Probably start next Wednesday. Just still reading about it, and the more I read about fasting 24 hours to 36 hours and your body's ability to repair your immune system and other things, there's tremendous benefits. So and beer does not change. Beer is drinking Miller Lite because Miller Lite only has 3.2 carbs. If you drink a regular beer, it's like 10, 12, 15 carbs. I'm not drinking all the carbs. Sorry.
Can you use a small flat rate envelope inside of a padded flat rate envelope? You're not supposed to.
Technically, you can do whatever you want. According to regulations, no.
That is abuse of postal supplies.
Yeah. Misappropriation of materials. That's what they call it. I've seen people do it.
It happens all the time, and it pisses me off every time I see it because, keep doing it.
Small flat rate box costs more than a padded flat rate. So what you're doing is, stealing, technically. I had a guy who I used to work with. I can't remember his name now. Truck driver, and we hauled mobile homes back and forth. I was the escort truck, and he was the truck driver. And he was the one. And I remember, I hated the guy, but I remember the one thing he told me. It's like, when you're lazy at work, you're stealing. Well, that's the same thing with, you're stealing time. You're stealing money from the company. When you're doing that, it's the same thing. You're stealing.
Yes, I don't think it'll be that difficult for me because I'm already not hungry. I generally eat because of time. I don't generally eat because I'm hungry.
Well, you got to train your body. And once you have your body trained, you have to follow the training of the body. For me, I have to eat every 2.5 hours. And on the days that if I don't eat 2.5 hours, I don't eat it. If
That was
I
a
don't
very
eat
good
every 2.5
escort too.
hours, my weight actually goes up for that day. No matter what I eat, my weight goes up because my body is starting to store fat.
Somebody has pointed out that I might have been wrong about the price of a small flat rate box. Either way, you're still using a box that you're not supposed to in a padded. You're still using that. You should be charged twice if you're using it that way.
I mean,
Because you're using two things.
a 9x6x3 box will fit in a padded mailer, and that's what you should be using your own box.
Yeah. You can use boxes in there. Yeah.
Imagine if somebody in the description of their video had a link to Supply Hut to save you an extra 5% on your boxes.
It would be the same thing. It would be the same thing as if you were using a padded envelope inside a padded envelope. That's still wrong. You can't do that.
It's code bearded, by the way, for your discount. I just ordered. It does work. I just ordered boxes yesterday. I'm running out of 864s. I use my own link.
So
anytime you use two priority pieces together, you're not doing it correctly, because you get charged you should be charged separately for those boxes.
Unless you Frankenstein a priority box.
Yes, you can do things like that legally. Just read the codes. I mean, they're open and easily found by anybody. I'm not telling you what to do. I mean, do whatever you do, but in my case, I don't use priority inside a priority. Not how it works. I'll use if I had a used envelope or something, maybe, but even then, I don't do it.
So let's wrap this up with business. Let's jump over to business. I've been on this kick to really grow my business this year. And I came up with an idea that's really working well that I want to tell you guys about. For me, I'm saying $10 a day. What can I do to increase my business by $10 a day that it will compound the rest of the year? Well, I have 7 people on my team right now, so $10 is not a whole lot. But if you break it down to, say, $2 a day, that's $700 after a year. But it has to be compoundable, meaning if you do it today, it keeps happening after it's done. Can you increase the price by 10 cents of a replenishable item that will increase your sales by $2 a day? Can you add a new product that's replenishable that increases your overall sales by $2 a day tomorrow? Can you adjust your PPC to increase your sales by $2 a day on Friday? Excuse me. But if you do that every day for a year, the compound of the effects will be astronomical. And that's what you have to look at as you go forwards in business right now, guys, because if you don't start looking at the compounding effect of your efforts, which Scott's starting to find out, you're going to work until you're dead. You have to start figuring out a way that you can leverage your time, effort, and money to improve your lifestyle.
Lag, stop being nice. You're not nice.
Lag's here?
Yeah, Lag's trying to be nice in the chat.
I blocked him.
Lag's the same person who in the chat just a few moments ago asked if it was okay to put a padded flat rate in the microwave so you could stretch it out some.
I blocked him.
No.
He's like a troll. He drove me nuts.
He said he is nice.
He lives in his mother's basement. How can he be nice?
Yeah.
Why am I not wearing a blue shirt? Ugh, I hate blue shirts. That's why.
That's why I'm making the videos, John, I've talked about making the videos so that, once I've made them one time, they're added to Amazon. That can keep working while I'm doing something else. And and it's not a YouTube video has got a certain link to it, and it's not effective anymore. People will go back and watch it every now and then, but if you've got a popular product, it could last 2, 3, 4 years on Amazon of people buying that product over and over and looking at the video. So, that's why I have focused on getting some of those done.
For me, that's the thing is I'm leveraging what I have to the best of my ability. And that's what everybody should be doing. You don't need to copy what Scott's doing. You don't need to copy what Steve's doing.
Don't copy what I'm doing.
You don't copy what I'm doing. You can learn from us. You could take pieces of it and apply to your business. But honestly, you got to do what's best for you. Just like my health, I had to do what was best for my health, not my wife's health. When we started this, I said, this is what I'm doing. You want to be a part of it? That's fine. If you don't want to be a part of it, it'll make it a little harder on me, but I'm going to do it for me.
I was, when you said that, I was thinking the same thing, John. I was thinking, we just talked about, personal health and weight loss and all these things. And, the overarching point was you've got to come to a way that it works for you and what works for you. Your business that you're building is the same way. It's can you learn from others? I've seen a lot of Steve Rankin stuff lately, and I like the way he organizes and does things, but I don't have his personality. I'm not that outgoing. So what can I learn and glean from people who do that kind of stuff and others? I do the same thing, but you can't be someone else. If you're trying to copy, eventually you give up or quit because it's not who you are. It's not what you do. It's not what you enjoy. And so you have to build it into your strengths and your likes for long-term success. You have to ask to continue to be yours.
Yeah, look at Steve. Steve's out there doing, what'd you say you were doing? DoorDash?
Mm-hmm.
He's putting he made a conscious effort to take care of his personal debt, and he's doing what it takes and what works for him. I know he gets some negative comments on some of his videos about
screw him, I don't care.
Leveraging his house. He was thinking about leveraging his house, and I understood what he was trying to do. He was trying to find what worked best for him. Everybody was trying to give him advice. He don't need advice. What he needs is to do exactly what he's doing, is keep his head down, do what's working, and just keep repeating it.
I found out that I love eBay. You guys know I love eBay, and I always will sell on eBay. But taking this break from it, and going out and doing this DoorDash has been a really refreshing change. I don't have to worry so much about the sales coming in. I know that I'm going to make $100 a day on DoorDash most days or more. And so I can go out and do that and still sell on eBay, but it's so much less stress on me, to actually have to get out and, okay, I've only made $350 this week. How the fuck am I going to pay bills? That kind of thing. So now I have at least that steady, and I'll go back to full-time reselling. Don't once we get on our feet, but I enjoy this, and I'm enjoying the break a lot. Still sourcing,
but it also gives you time to work on your laser.
I haven't had much time to work on that because of being out so much. I'm putting in 8-hour days.
Watch too much TV at night. Turn the TV off.
It's YouTube. It's YouTube, but same thing.
Tactical Z, ask anybody who knows me. Now, John's right here. I've met both these guys and hung out with them in person. Says, I don't believe Scott's an introvert. You better think again.
Scott's not an introvert. If you turn on the camera, he's not an introvert. He's very good at talking to the camera. But as soon as you bring people in,
I'm out.
He's out. He's done. What you see on camera is what you get in real life.
No, that's not true. In real life, your volume is about 10 times higher.
Yeah. I was just going to say, this is probably a downside for me compared to what I am.
Somebody's like, yeah, I heard this voice. I turned around and I guess a couple rows over at ASD, it was John. I'm like, yeah.
I'll tell you one thing about doing this DoorDash and stuff. I've done a little Uber Eats too, but my introvertness has to be put on the back burner because I have to see people and I have to talk to them. So it's actually helping with that stuff, a lot. I actually took some advice from you, Scott, the other day. I read a book. I read an entire book on paper.
So Ben, if you're shipping 10 to 20 orders a day on Amazon, is it more profitable? You have to decide what business works for you. Most of don't take what I say because hell, I got 15 to ship a day. I should have sent this stuff into Amazon. So if it's an item that sells fast and you want how does your account work? See, people don't realize my account. I don't have a reserve on my account. I don't get paid. I can't request payment, so I get paid every 2 weeks, but I don't have a reserve. So right now, anything I get shipped out before Tuesday, I get paid on Tuesday. So like the last week of my pay period, I go, man, if I send this in, it's going to be the next pay period before I get it, or I can list it right now and sell it and ship it, and I will get paid. So you got to. It's different for everybody, but the general answer is yes. If you will get a little more dollars, it'll sell a little faster if you do FBA versus FBM,
and the volume will go up.
But it does create a lag in your payment for the most part, because remember, you've got a 2 to 3 day travel to the warehouse, then you've got a day or two before they'll unload it, then you've got up to 10 to 12 days before they will move it transfer it to another warehouse before it comes out of back order. So it can be up to 14, 15 days before that item is shipped, and then the money is put in your account. And then if you have an account that has a reserve, there's a percentage of that money that's going to be held back again for another pay period. And so it's a possibility that it could be 6 to 8 weeks before you get paid on it. I don't have one of those accounts. And if I'll list some things today. There's also things about rank and stuff with the way they're doing the warehouses now. And you'll be punished if you have inventory that sits over 180 days with extra fees and other things, and automatic removals. So I picked up a bunch of CDs at an estate sale last week. I'll be listing all those CDs today. They'll all be merchant fulfilled. They'll be easy. And I'll put them in a box. I wouldn't send them in because the rank on music doesn't move as fast as DVDs. So I will keep them here, and I'll just be shipping those because they're so easy. But to me, it depends on the item. It depends on how you get paid. It depends on what your money situation is. Can you wait the 8 weeks? Okay, but I will tell you, if you send stuff in every week, that lag will go away. Not this lag, but the lag in payment will go away because you'll have.
We can't get rid of this lag.
You'll have stuff there so if you're sending in every week consistently, you won't notice it anymore. So it's not an easy answer, but the general answer is yes. It sells faster for more money.
If you feed, this term's not used anymore. But if you feed the beast, it was always feed the beast. Yeah. When I started doing RA, if I shipped every single day, my income went up. And as time went on, my shipments got bigger. Now, Gordon's asking me, do you think your volume goes up with FBA? Yes.
100%.
So there's a lot of people in the chat that don't believe I know how to read. Here's the book. Where did Grandpa hide his money? That's what I read. I don't recommend this book. The reason I got this book is this was my grandmother's, and when she passed away, I got it. But she bought it when my grandfather died because he was known to hide money, and we were trying to figure out where. We never did. So that's why she got it. However, this book talks more about how to preserve old money that you may have found, and it barely talks about where people actually hide it. So that's why I don't recommend it. But that's what I read.
Baseball, yes, listing is the key. If you want to sell stuff, you must list it.
It ended in disappointment.
As of right now, of those 30 or 40 CDs, I haven't sold any of them yet. They're not listed. I've had them for a week and a half or so.
I bought 2 the other day, and I've been so busy doing other things. They're still sitting over here. I haven't listed. One of them goes for $30 with a rank of 4,000. It'll sell, even merchant fulfilled, really quickly. Why haven't I listed it? Well, because I haven't got to it yet.
Again, you got to find what works for you. How much, and don't compare yourself to everybody else, especially when it comes to income and sales and things like that. Beard will tell you, and I know he said it numerous times, he used to sell more than I did for a long time. For a long time, he sold more than I did. I built my business different than he did. I tried to drag him along, kicking and screaming, but that was his choice not to come along on that journey, and it's okay. And I don't have any less respect for what he does.
I think everybody's journey is going to be different. Mine is definitely way different than your guys's. I've tried some of the things you guys do, and none of it is. Some of it, don't get me wrong, some of it's a fit for me, but not all of it, for sure. I would fail miserably if I tried to be John. I would fail miserably.
My life is not exciting. I'm not out there hustling RA. I'm not out there finding. I love to go into a thrift store. I find good stuff. I sent Steve some of it. That was stuff I found for pennies. But that's just not me. That wasn't where I was looking to get to. I have a team of 7 people that work for me now. My ideas are given to somebody, and then they're funneled down to teams that build out my ideas, and I'm showing the results. And if I don't like it, they go back and change it for me. That's what I wanted. That doesn't mean I'm right.
So whatever number I had to ship, add one more.
I'm at I think I got 65 going out today.
For me, currently, FBA doesn't even make any sense because I'm buying so little. Now, when I'm out and about, I'll stop at the thrift stores and I'll look through the DVDs and I'll look through been doing a lot of stuffed animals on eBay lately. Those are doing pretty well. Stuff like that. But as far as FBA, doesn't make any sense for me to send in 2 DVDs at a time. So I'd have to either build up a whole pile and not list them at all, or put them merchant fulfilled. And for me right now, merchant fulfilled is doing the trick.
So yeah, somebody asked what I sell. Just it's a hazmat item. I don't generally send hazmat into Amazon. I could. I'm approved for it. I just generally ship that myself.
Yeah, same here.
I just picked them up. I've sold one last night and one tonight. I had 6 of that one. Picked them up on Friday. So I got everything that I brought back from Georgia, except for the I've got maybe 2/3 of it taken care of. About 116 of the same game. So that's going to Amazon. So that's a great one for Amazon. Pick up 116 of the same item. It's going in. It sells for a couple dollars more. If you look at the people in the lowest, there's one guy who's got 5 ratings at 20%. Why Amazon allows that? You've got 5 customers that have left your reviews, and you got one of them good. Yeah, good job.
Ed Rosenberg posted one like that yesterday. It was just a jumble of letters was the username, and every review was bad, every single one. And there was a bunch, but yet they're still active. That makes no sense. No sense at all.
Yeah, so it's certain items for me what works better. I've got a bunch of DVDs. They need to go in. I just haven't got around to them. They're listed, so they sell. That one I don't mind as much because the storage on them is so small. The DVDs are in 2 totes. That's it. The CDs will be in 1 tote. I mean, so a lot of that kind of stuff I don't mind shipping. You're throwing it in a bubble mailer and you're done. Just not a lot to it. Anything. I don't mind shipping the health and beauty and stuff that I sell. The stuff that fits in an 8x6x4 box. That's the general. Because I have air pillows, the machine, I just turn them on. Maybe a 1086 is the biggest that I don't mind. But I will ship printers. I picked up a huge printer because it was $30 and it's a full frame legal printer that sells for $400 minimum on Amazon. So I did pick that up.
There's not, if you know your market, if you know where your strengths are. I don't know. Did I ever tell the Corvette story?
I don't recall it.
You found for the other guy?
Yeah. I found relationships and networking is one of the most important things you can do in this business. I started networking at Dollar Tree. I got to know the people that worked at Dollar Tree. I actually took a couple pizzas in the Dollar Tree one day because I found out these guys really don't get a lunch break. So I took in 2 pizzas and there was, 4 of them working in the store and I fed them. It wasn't a lot of money, but so I have a vendor who's looking for a Corvette. And it's a very special, very unique Corvette. You have to have what's called an allocation from a dealer to buy it. He knows a lot of people, and he couldn't find one. I told him I'd have it in 24 hours. He thought I was kidding, and I got it for him. I got him an allocation to be able to order the car. Last I knew, they were building it this. I guess they're going to start this week in the building process. It'll go online and be done in early April. And I told him, I said, you owe me. I'll be able to call him when I need something and say, well, how's that Corvette? And he'll know what I'm calling him for. Networking is probably the most important thing in this business.
So it says, Scott, do you know if there's a way to get a USPS to create a label instead of a QR code for our return? You should be able to print it versus a QR code. Isn't that right? If it's an eBay return, shouldn't you just be able to?
I thought that they just issued a label. That's if you have free returns, that the buyer gets a return label.
They get a label.
You can also do it through Pirate Ship. I've done return labels through Pirate Ship. You just click a little box that said this is a return label, and they don't charge you until it actually.
No, he said
a little bit.
He bought an item off eBay to flip, and they sent the wrong one. So he's the buyer in this one.
They're running.
Well, if they send you a QR code, you're just gonna have to go to the post office and get them to scan it.
I was watching a guy who was up on this stuff. He was talking yesterday or Monday that he expects 20 to 30% drop in the market in the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I
can tell you, I'm getting crushed at the moment.
Don't miss the fact that those banks that they bailed out yesterday, that was the Democrats bailing out Democrats, folks.
No way.
If you look at that the bank that the one that Etsy had, the SVB or whatever it is, most banks, if 80% of deposits are covered by the $250,000 FDIC insurance, no problem. This bank, because it was all investment bankers and hedge funds and startups and all this stuff, only 10%, it's the exact opposite. Only 10% of deposits qualified $250,000 or less. And so you got to understand, Joe gets up there, all your deposits will be guaranteed. All your this will be the. You're speaking to millionaires and billionaires, folks. These are people that that were making bad decisions with money. It's another government bailout of people doing stupid stuff with money.
It wasn't really bad decisions. You really have to understand how the banking works. They took the deposits and they bought bonds at the current interest rate, and the interest rate spiked on them. Some of these things were bought 18 months ago with no foresight that the interest rate was going to pop that big, that we were going to be in this recessionary period that we're in. So were the people stupid to have that much cash in the bank? Yes. But some of the people that get caught are businesses that need more than $250,000 in operating funds.
Well, Etsy, for example, would need way more than that.
250,000. I come close.
There were other decisions they made too, John. Like Mr. Sadie is saying, they made a big donation to BLM.
Oh, that's a different story. But the majority of the collapse was from the run on withdrawals, not because of bad business.
This is a woke company who made.
Absolutely.
This is a woke bank who was very proud of the fact that their entire investment team was all women, and that they hired based on your sex and the color of your skin versus your qualifications. So it's not an accident that if you don't have the right people and you're hiring for an image versus hiring for what the hell they know. There's nothing against a woman being a woman, but to pound your chest and go, oh, we're the most diverse bank out there. We have this and this and that. And these are
very diverse now, are they?
And the diverse people were the ones making the decisions on your investment. Okay, so you got to look at it too. The way men and women think is why you need a mixture. Most women are very conservative. So if for the most part, so if they're buying and they will see government bonds and the conservative that normally are with them and go, that's a safe move. We shouldn't do this. We shouldn't be invested in this. We should be invested in these government bonds. It bit them in the ass this time because you're over invested in bonds.
I do have to say, Etsy immediately sent an email to anybody who was going to be affected. My wife's sisters are pretty big at Etsy sellers, and they got their money still on time. So there was no really interruption. There was a little bit of an interruption of service. I got my money on time, although it wasn't a whole lot. But so Etsy stepped up to the plate and got everything straightened out real quick, which is good. A lot of Etsy sellers were panicking, pulling their shit off of Etsy. Why? That's what caused the bank to fail. Same kind of ideas. Don't do that.
Mark my words, folks. This is now the government owns a lot of this stuff. Let me tell you something I don't want to tell you. This was a trial run. Just as you can go back and look at the FBI doing trial runs in Michigan and the craziness, everybody focuses on the plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer. That was a trial run for January 6th and what they could and couldn't do, how they could control the media. This was a test run on bringing down banks and consolidation. Mark my words. I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but mark my words.
Why is the FDIC? When I was a kid, I remember seeing when did that start? In the 80s, right? I think that was formed in the 80s. But it was $250,000 back then. Why is it still $250,000? Why hasn't it gone?
It wasn't $250,000 in the 80s.
Was it? Seems like it was. Seems like I remember. Just seems like I remember it being $250 for quite a long time now. With inflation and everything, you would think things would change. That's all.
We're not having inflation.
Well, you know what I mean.
Are you a freaking leftist?
I'm telling you, this is the test.
I wouldn't be on this show if I was a leftist, I'm sure.
Look at the craziness going on in the world, and Russia's shooting down our drones or forcing and destroying our drones.
Okay, so
China puffing out their chest and saying they're not going to do this anymore. The yen in certain trading markets outtrades the dollar for the first time in history. Folks, a lot of crazy shit's going on right now. Pay attention. I'm telling you, I don't watch as much as I used to, and I see this stuff. So you've got to pay attention.
But you got everything can go up. Yeah, this show is run off the rails. Speaking off the rails, I didn't know we were in bank collapse season. I still got my freaking derailment decorations up.
I saw that meme.
that was the greatest meme of all.
Posted it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
That and AOC going, you mean daylight savings is in a bank?
I mean, pay attention to what's going on. John Weber has got it right. Socialized banking, and if you paid attention to South Dakota, this is going to affect us all. South Dakota governor there, Governor Nome, vetoed a bill that was they were trying to. It was pushed as a update to the banking system, update to some that one of the in this bill there was language in there that these lobbyists had pushed for that outlawed any cryptocurrency other than the something from the Federal Reserve. The folks got to pay attention, and when this stuff comes around, hopefully your lawyer, Nome and her people were smart enough to catch it and vetoed it. And they asked her, they go, well, you're a Republican state. Why did they send it to you? Well, it's a 110-page bill. They probably didn't read it. They probably listened to the same lobbyists they've been listening to, have been paying them money. That's where we are in our country.
Nobody reads that shit.
They're trying to sneak stuff through, and these same bills are in 20 states right now. Going through the legislatures of 20 states, trying to make it illegal to own any crypto other than the central bank crypto. That means you would not be allowed to own Bitcoin or any of the rest of them. No, I don't care what your opinion is on Bitcoin and crypto coin. You should be able to have an opinion and be able to own whatever you want. They want to take your cash away, force you to use their money. They can track you and they can tax every dollar. And then at some point they'll go, well, John, you've spent a little too much money this month. We allowed you last year to buy a gun. You don't need to. We're going to decline this purchase because we don't think you need a second gun.
Well, it's a little late to tell me I can't have a second gun.
I'm just using that as an example. They're going to say, due to look at China. How many times have the Democrats got to say how much they like the Chinese system? If you speak out too much, oh, wait a minute, your child is not eligible to go to this college because of your demerits. Your child is not eligible for this, or you're not eligible for that. Folks, you got to pay attention. They're trying to sneak this stuff in on us right now. Yeah, there'll be no under the table payments. You won't be able to take cash. A lot of people I know in this business, hey, I'm gonna go sell at the flea market. It's a cash business. Nobody knows what goes on. When you've got to take digital money because there is no more cash, and yeah, there
are flea market police. There was a time I was selling at the flea market, and one time I don't know who it was from the state of Ohio came in and checked everybody's vendor's license. And there are flea market police. They don't do it all the time. It's a surprise when it happens, but most of them didn't have a vendor's license. 90% of your flea marketers don't, because it's all cash money.
Hey, Cajun, good morning. There's some crazy stuff going on right now. The world is in upheaval, and that's the one thing I can tell you is everything I've seen in my short life on this planet. As things are crazy, they're generally crazy for a reason, because there's people behind it taking advantage of it. It's the sleight of hand trick. look over here while we're doing something over here. So John, you think it would take years before they get cash out? It wouldn't take that many years. Remember, cash will wear out. How much cash do they replace every year? Start doing some research on how many bills they replace and pull out of the system, and understand if they stop making any more. And it be as simple as look what they did with gold. You know, it's illegal to own gold in the 30s. You have to turn all the gold in.
Gold notes.
But that's the way you do it. Cash is now illegal. You know, if you don't turn this cash in by the end of 2023, it's going to be worthless. It's going to be worthless. And so at that point, they deem it not to be currency anymore. So
if they really wanted to, they could take cash out of the system very quickly.
And before you go saying, oh, they would never do something like that. I don't trust anything the government does. I just don't. As at this moment right now, Joe Biden and the federal government are in court appealing the mask decisions, trying to put masks back on every single fucking one of you, knowing good and well every science study ever come out says they don't work. Yeah, there you go. They are in court right now trying to force masks back on you. They are still actively trying to get it where they can give you the jab. They're still fighting these battles in court. Don't tell me what the government won't do. Oh, but they've got my best interest at heart. They've never. Look into the power of the Federal Reserve. Go look into how it was formed. Go back and research 1910 and how a quarter of the world's wealth got together and came up with the Federal Reserve.
Our government gave LSD to soldiers in the 60s to try to make super soldiers out of them.
So what happened in 1913? Do some research. Who died on the Titanic? Who had tickets on the Titanic and canceled? And then who died on the Titanic? To start doing some research, folks.
Our government also was going to crash an airline or shoot down an airliner over Cuba and then blame it on Cuba back during those days. That's our government. There's a lot of things that happen, and I guarantee still happen like that.
Yeah, it's so I don't trust anything they do.
Maybe my grandfather was right to hide his money, you know. I just wish we'd have found it.
So John Gilbert is on the right track. Jekyll Island. Read the Creature from Jekyll Island. In 1910, these five representatives of the families met at Jekyll Island to hammer out what became the Federal Reserve. It had five principles. One of the five principles that they had in it was pass all losses to the taxpayer. I'm not kidding, folks. Do your reading. I am not kidding. It's you want to know what they're up to? They what's his name? The creepy dude from Germany wrote a book. Told you that he wrote The Great Reset. He told you what they're going to do to us. You'll eat bugs and you'll be happy. Klaus Schwab wrote the book. They don't hide it. We just don't believe it. As it happens to us slowly over 4 or 5 years. Tom Higgins, it wasn't an accident. He said it's amazing how fast they came up with the Patriot Act after 9/11. When you decide you want the Patriot Act, you need 9/11 to pass the Patriot Act. There you go.
So Mark's saying that the guy sent a 20-pound box, 50 by 20 by 15, first class. Maybe that's why you're getting a QR code. I don't know. That's crazy.
You would think that eBay would have systems that would catch that. That's pretty easy fraud to catch.
Well, it's not the eBay system, but the postal service should definitely. Well, what happens in those cases is nowadays that the postal service will charge eBay and eBay will charge you because you misused the label.
Amy Lee, damn it. I didn't take either side. I'm not for or pro against anyone.
It's the entire TFR system. It isn't just one party or one person.
So that's a good question, Timothy. If you get an item returned for a bad address, do you refund the buyer or just let it be? So it depends on Amazon. I will refund it. On eBay, because the system is easier for them to get messages, I will send them a message. And
I have a hilarious one along those lines. My wife got a return in the mail yesterday, and she's going back to look for the sale to, issue the refund. The lady had sent her a message. It was an auger for some sort of machine, pasta maker or something. I don't know. And she asked my wife for the address to send it back, which should have been in her eBay, but my wife was kind enough to give her the address. She didn't buy it from my wife. She bought it from some other seller, and I don't know how she got my wife's, because she was selling the same thing, I guess. So now we have to send it back to her, and then the lady didn't purchase a label or get a return label through eBay. So to send this little thing that's 9 ounces cost her over $6. I have noticed an increase in returns on eBay lately too. I don't know if other people are noticing it, and they're not because I sent the wrong item or it was broken. It's because it didn't fit or something like that. I got this second time I got this computer screen back because they bought the wrong thing. Even though it's listed right, they bought the wrong thing.
Garda being the plan wasn't supposed to be fully completed until 2030. That was their original timeline, but you got to realize 2016 messed everything up. Trump wasn't supposed to win. Hillary was supposed to win and carry on. They had even though they control a lot of the elections, they had no idea that Trump was going to come in and win. Remember when they told you before the election of 2016, if you remember, that Hillary had like a 91% chance of winning. They just sat back and thought, hey, we got this.
I got a message on eBay the other day, and I want to know if anybody else has gotten this and why this lady wanted me to do it this way. I didn't respond to the message. I'm selling a stuffed animal, a plush, and she wanted me in between. Let me see if I got the email so I can read it. I saved it because it was so bizarre to me. Give me a second. Where is it? Maybe I deleted it. I thought I saved it.
You're supposed to open
anyway, it was a plush thing. And in between two specific words, she wanted me to put the word cuddly. Why would you want me to put the word cuddly in the listing? I don't understand. She wasn't asking to buy the thing. She just wanted that word added to the title.
You're not supposed to open the door, big girl.
I thought I saved that. Maybe to put in my trash. Let me look. I wondered if anybody ever got that before.
Franklin, say hello. Say Phoebe brought her boy toy with her.
I agree. People are so dang weird.
I'm Phoebe's boy.
My wife gets a return that wasn't even hers. And I get a lady asking me to put the word cuddly in the title.
Phoebe left you in here, boy.
I'm gonna look back through my deleted.
Steve, just
My
tell her to
trash.
buy the frickin' thing, and then she can list it any damn
I'm not
way she wants.
I'm not sure I want to sell to that person. That's not it. I know I still have this message somewhere. I'm gonna find it so I can read it. Here it is. Okay. It's Disney Little Einstein's Big Hugs Leo plush stuffed toy 16-inch. It's a $50 plush. But she says, "Hi, can you add the word cuddly between plush and stuffed? Thanks." Why would they want that?
Why would they care? They could.
I know.
Do they want to sell similar and they don't know how to change the title? Is that what it is?
I have no idea. She's not a seller, at least on this account. It was just the weirdest message I've gotten, and all I've got weird messages. But
Maybe she.
yeah, I thought that too. Maybe because she wanted to buy it, and when she got it, it wasn't cuddly. She could do a return. I don't know. Maybe. I am cuddly. I didn't ask this woman for clarification because I don't
weird.
think I don't want to deal with this woman, but
It's so weird.
also there and eBay's been doing this for a while, but if you got pesticide listings, and I know it was briefly mentioned on the Sunday show, but mine got pulled because it wasn't in the right category. But I don't think it really got pulled because it wasn't in the right category. I think it got pulled because they didn't have the EPA regulation number on there. And eBay's done that to me before.
So what I mentioned earlier is if you're not an Amazon seller and has gone through their pesticide, education training, pesticides cover a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I had a pair of socks that were once taken down on Amazon for pesticide, and I was talking to an Amazon rep at Account Health, and they asked me, was I going to get the documentation to get that listing back up? And I'm like, what documentation? I just thought it was an error. It's a pair of socks. And he reminded me that anytime that a manufacturer or a product claims that it has antimicrobial properties or any of that kind of stuff, it qualifies as a pesticide.
Anything that kills anything that can be considered a bug, because somebody said fly strips, that's still a pesticide because it kills flies. But anyway, the EPA regulation number is usually on the box. In this case, it's down here. So it's really easy to relist these things. But they want to make sure it's in sporting goods, survival gear, insect repellent, some weird category like that. It has to be in the right category and has to have that EPA regulation. They'll let you relist it in that
Mark
case.
says, I'm sure Grumpy is tax exempt. No, I'm not tax. I wish I was freaking tax exempt.
You technically can't. You can be if you're buying. You don't have to pay taxes on the material.
Oh, I thought you meant exempt from paying income tax. I was going to say,
no.
Bitch. I pay more than some people make a year.
By the way, I did relist these without issue because I did it the right way. So.
I pay low six-figure for my income taxes. I was going to say,
like if you go into Walmart if you're buying Walmart a product at Walmart and you want to resell it, that kind of tax exempt. Yes.
Yes, I am most tax exempt.
You can get
that. Incorporated.
Most of the time, I don't wait in line for it. I just pay and go. It's
6 or 7% doesn't make it worth waiting. Sometimes. Well, we know what people in this chat listen to the entire show. I saw you don't have to highlight things like that.
I need to make sure
everybody gets to see it.
Must be a nice morning in Texas this morning because I didn't see, you know who. surprised because some of these comments.
Who's in Texas?
Oh, just a friend of ours.
Yeah, with eBay, I think they make you redo it every couple of years. So I think that's the case.
Yeah, my door dashing is just a cover for my escort service.
So, and I go to self-checkout at Walmart, and there's a line. I'm like, these freaking cashiers are so damn slow. Everybody turns around and looks at me.
So Condon, do you have to, every time I've
You
done
can take that off the screen now, by the way.
Oh, I thought I did. You have to go through their one register. You can't do it in every self-checkout. You have to let them check it out at the little checkout register as you walk into the queue. Is that still correct?
Connie's still around?
Oh, yeah.
That
Not
wacko?
today, apparently, but.
Not today, but she's around.
I haven't seen her in forever. Probably because she's like lag on permanent block.
You got to have some fun with your chat.
Tactical Z, you know what the secret was? That just happened to be the one that I picked on Canva. I didn't change it. Yeah, the attendant desk. Yeah, I don't want to talk to them either, so the hell with that.
CJ's like Philly here, like he's proud of it. Why don't you just put ghetto rat?
Trying to. Jeez, come on, people. Oh, I forgot to do that. Yeah. I meant because it just popped into my mind. It has nothing to do with most of the rest of the show. If you're considering doing DoorDash at all, the one good thing about them is they give you a virtual card when you first start, and you can put all your deposits on that. It's instant. As soon as you're done with your dash, we're not going to get any of this.
There's your website.
Wait. Leave it up because I missed it.
No. I'm trying to talk about serious stuff over here, and you guys just can't. Anyway, you can get a debit card through DoorDash that you get paid right instantly. As soon as your dash is over for the day, you have the money, which is really good.
CJ says they work at USPS in Philly. 2 years ago, I had like 20 or 30 packages lost in Philly. Can I have them back?
Maybe he was working at Cleveland at the time, because that was even worse.
Wait. Is that when you were selling ass pads? Because they probably used them in Philly.
It was the first COVID year. Every damn thing that went through Philly got lost.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Supposedly, Philly had tractor trailers full of shit out in the parking lot. Can I have that stuff back?
I got to the point where
theft in Philly is not a chargeable offense. It's not illegal to steal.
I got it to the point because it was Cleveland was bad too, and I got to the point where I'd go over to Pennsylvania to mail my stuff because Pittsburgh was okay. You know, the stuff would go through Pittsburgh. It got bad. I lost a lot of money.
Silver Hair Stacker Sharman has contacted Steve to be the new Mr. Whipple.
You know what? I would jump at that. Those are some big shoes to fill, though, Mr. Whipple. Don't squeeze the Sharman. Hey, Roman, I may have done a little bit of door dashing over in that area. I actually ended up in East Cleveland a couple times because I got too close. I don't like door dashing in East Cleveland.
Hey, can you do the little bear laugh, the little snuggle bear laugh?
I don't know what that laugh sounds like. It's been a lot of years. My brother was enthralled by the snuggle bear. He still has his little plush. You know, if somebody wanted to sponsor me, I'll be the new Mr. Whipple. I'm okay with that. I'll be the new Snuggle Bear. I don't care.
telling you, you could put you on the bottle instead of the Snuggle Bear. That's awesome.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. All right.
Yeah, I watched a cool video the other day of the guy who had, I forget how many packages had been stolen off his front porch. It was like 50, 60, 70. I forget. I didn't catch what city he was in. But after the first couple, he started emptying his cat litter box into a box and putting a label on it. And the neighbor's dog would put dog shit in the box, so they take turns. So all these packages that got stolen were just cat shit and dog shit with a made up label on it. So that was the video of the week.
All right, I got to go pretend to work.
Snuggle Sasquatch.
All right, I got to look up the Snuggle Bear and see what he sounds like. Maybe I can do it. I saw it. Well, right now, I can't make the noise. I tried.
Yeah, they showed the dog. They go, that's the dog who's been contributed to the boxes. Brian said he thought you retired.
Not from moving into the RV.
Here's a fabric softener commercial. Let's see.
Yeah, watch it.
I got to get moved. So, all right, I'm out of here. You guys have a good day. Try and sell something. Don't buy stocks today. It's not a good day, man. It's like catching a falling knife.
Yeah, Silverhead Stacker didn't do a show to show us how bad the stocks were.
The market's horrible. I'm just watching my numbers fall through the floor right now.
Hurt Dow Jones is down 1.2%, 1.62%. That's 519 points.
Yeah, VTI is down $4 in an hour. That stock don't move $4 in a week. So I'm just watching.
I just looked up the Snuggle Bear, and I don't think I can do I don't think I can do it.
So, all right, guys, have a good one.
Yeah, and this is it. Get off your ass and go to work.
Yeah, get off your ass, go to work.
Enjoy your retirement, John.
All right, we need a new John. So.
Oh no. Do I want to know?
I don't know. Somebody want to be the new John? There you go. Make your camera debut. Come join.
Well, the old John hasn't even fully left yet.
Sure he has. Kick his ass.
There you go.
Bye. Come on, Lag, join us.
Lag won't show his face, or Lag could be a woman for all we know. We have no idea.
Are you volunteering, Amy? Come on.
We're going to have to retire, both of us, if Lag ever actually shows up, because it means the show is going to lose all its viewers.
My bet is he's above 45. My guess is he's probably close to our age.
Oh, I'm guessing, yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like I just Googled this Dow Jones, and looks like the banking fears are headed to Europe now. So yesterday, Lag, you were answering everybody who tried to guess your age. You would said, "Yep, you're close." Somebody said young, and you said, "Yep, you're close." And somebody said older, you said, "Yep, you're close." So don't hand me that. I was watching.
My new street endeavor. What is my new street endeavor? Sweetwater Legend moniker helps me in every aspect of my life. Just does.
the week before.
And years in 1 week now. Oh, the escorting. Yeah, I think that probably could help in that endeavor if I really wanted to. Depending on the version of escorting you're referring to.
Yeah, so there is a there was a great lesson that I learned in the sleeping in the truck at Walmart is
don't.
If you be prepared in case you forget to use the bathroom before Walmart closes.
Oh, it wasn't a 24-hour Walmart.
There aren't hardly any 24 hours anymore.
No, I don't know. I don't go to Walmart that often.
Peeing in a Diet Coke bottle is harder than you think.
So going back to my escort days,
See,
here's a story that no.
If I'd have been drinking Gatorade, it'd have been so much easier.
The reason that I didn't like the driver was because he would never stop to use the bathroom. So trying to drive and do that in a bottle because I had to. I had no choice. That is not fun at all. And then remembering which Mountain Dew bottle was which would be the
Hey, Martin, very nice. I told you it was overpriced. You did good. Take your $40 and use it to buy something else. Good deal.
Good. Oh, sold it. Good.
So Anissa says there's a professional cuddler in Jamestown, New York. She charges $70 an hour. True story.
That's not that far from here. I don't think people really want to cuddle with me. I'm not very cuddly.
You should franchise it and
shit, my wife doesn't even want to cuddle with me half the time. I mean, come on.
John said he would jump on, but you might try to cuddle with him.
This show, I think this is one of those ones that should be up for deletion.
I put on there that insert title here. I put on the.
I saw it.
I didn't lie.
This one's been all over the place.
Lag said he cuddled with you.
I'm not cuddling.
And this said it was a news story. She'll cuddle and go to doctor's appointments, etc. with you.
So she's an escort, basically. Maybe she doesn't go full escort, but that's what she is. I don't call it a cuddler. Not true. I mean, she might cuddle. That's part of her job, but.
I knew when I tricked Jody this morning that it was going to be a bad day. When the dogs woke up early and decided they wanted to eat 30 minutes before I wanted to get up, I just laid there and act like I was asleep until they ran and jumped on her.
I do that with the cats.
She got up and fed them.
All
right, Steve, control yourself. Don't think about cuddling John.
Yeah, just.
John's from California, so it's not apparently not as good as I thought I would be.
You come to save us with some reselling talk?
Well, now that I can talk a little bit, 2 weeks, no voice sucks.
So you battled COVID, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't get tested for it, but when you get COVID, that's like nothing else. Like nothing else.
Yeah, I got something. I don't know what it was. I was tired for a few days. I wasn't really sick. I had a fever for a couple hours, but other than that, but I don't have anything to compare it to because I've never had the flu either. So who knows?
Wow.
I'm convinced that I had COVID before they knew it was COVID because I couldn't breathe. I couldn't do hardly anything. I didn't have fever, and I didn't lose my taste, but it was bad for months or a couple of months. And then That's why I quit smoking and vaping, because I thought that's what was causing it.
They've given you a new name.
The raspy voice picker. That's about right.
Mr.
Speaking
Sadie,
of,
which John
go
are we
ahead.
talking about? I would think that would be the other John.
The speaking of COVID, I see they released Ron from the hospital, Ron Harbor, so that's good stuff.
I messed with him even when he was in the hospital. He didn't mess with me back too much.
Well, he was sick. You know?
He wasn't that sick when he was messing with me when A&M beat us in the last game of the regular season.
True.
When it didn't count, but Ron, when the game counted and it was for the SEC, y'all got smacked. Thanks for playing. But John, he reminded me that his coach was the SEC Coach of the Year. I'm like, okay, Coach of the Year versus regular season and tournament champs. Okay, you can have Coach of the Year. Number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, but you're Coach of the Year. Okay. Do you feel he earned that? Our coach, number 1 seed, he's Coach of the Year. Come on, Ron.
Did you see your new channel name there, John? Speaking ain't easy.
I see that, yeah. It's getting easier. It's getting easier, but it's going to be another week or two before I'm back to normal, I think.
And Roman, I got to say, the deliveries that I did in East Cleveland were actually smooth. I mean, the people were good, nice people. It was the ghetto, and it's not a fun place to be, but they were good people.
Yeah, I was on the road. I got a notification that you still went live Friday. I guess you went live Monday too, so it didn't stop you from.
Yeah, we just power through it, you know. It's something that we look forward to. We like going live on Mondays and Friday afternoons, and we enjoy it. So
it's hard to explain to folks. I took 3 months off from the show, and I'm like, I miss the interaction, even though I'm an introvert and in person don't care. This show's a lot of fun. You know, the people in the chat are put up with our craziness, and they might be worse than us, but that's okay.
Well, Scott, I'm a lot like you. I am introverted, but it sort of allows me to kind of come out of my shell. You know, once you get used to being in front of the camera, it's a little easier. But you meet a lot of really cool people doing Absolutely. This, and I think that's the main motivation. I mean, I've met some really close friends in town just because of the channel. So that's why we do it.
Yes, Stephen, you keep thinking that. You ain't won your first round game yet. Come on. I'm pulling from Maryland.
I do have a warning, a public service announcement, let's say. This new job that I'm doing has given me a lot of insight on local eateries. And there is one Popeyes in Euclid, Ohio. I believe it's on Euclid Avenue. I'm not sure.
Are you talking about Pope
maybe
yet?
Popeye, yes.
Pope,
yes.
Okay.
Yes, Popeyes. Do not, under any circumstance, I wouldn't even deliver the food from that place. I canceled the order. They have the machines with all the drinks in them. You know, the high C or whatever it is. There was mold in the machine. Literally, you could see it in there. And then there was their little receipt printer was so caked with old ketchup and shit that you couldn't even tell it was a receipt printer. My wife took a picture of it. Do not eat at that Popeyes ever. I literally canceled the orders for my customers and left. It was bad. So if you're ever in Euclid, Ohio, stay away from the.
Yeah. So those if you don't believe that I am an introvert, show up at the reseller rally. I've got tickets for that, and whatever the hell date it is, I don't even know. In Cincinnati, you'll see. Unless somebody comes to talk to me, I'm not going to be the life of the party.
Well, I'll walk up and talk to you then. I'll be there.
Oh, all right. For real?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's different. I've talked to you on live shows like this, or if it's somebody I know from the chat, that's different. I feel like there's a connection. So
Yeah.
But just to introduce myself to people I have no idea who they are, and forget about it.
I mean, I could vouch for that. I remember seeing you there on Wednesday, and you're just kind of just standing there soaking it all in. Weren't really saying a whole lot to anyone.
Mark's asking if you reset any Xbox Ones that you sell. I haven't sold any Xbox Ones, but I reset everything.
Unless it's got games on it that have some value, I won't reset. That's a tricky one. I would tell you I reset almost everything, but the machines that I've got games on that can add value or somebody else can play, I generally leave those.
Certain consoles should not be reset. If you have an older Xbox 360 that has what they call the Blades console, you do not want to reset that because people will pay extra money just for that, for the Blades interface. And you'll know because it's the old school. It won't look anything like the newer Xbox 360 interface. But so you might want to look into, should I reset this console before you actually do it? Because there's certain versions. And I know there's a PS3 that if you update it, or not a PS3, it's a Wii. If you update the Wii past a certain point, you can't do certain things. And like if they want to homebrew them or whatever, and you can get extra money if you know those little tricks. But for the most part, I reset everything. Factory reset.
The bargain effect, going to Reseller rather than miss boat tickets. I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of people that do that. We're going up Thursday or Friday. I'm not sure which. We might leave here for Thursday afternoon. I'm not 100% sure. It does better if we break the driving up at 6 hours, but she would do better if we drove half of it and then spent the night, say, somewhere in Kentucky. Just into Kentucky is probably what we'll do, but she volunteers every Thursday from noon to 2 at the infusion clinic at the cancer center here. So I know she's not going to skip that, but I can have everything ready and just when she gets home at 2:30, we can roll out of here and drive to.
No, I'm not going to any rallies, not anytime soon. I would love to, but it's not in the cards right now. Not until we get out of this financial situation.
When is the rally? What?
September 30th.
That's right. September 30th.
Yeah.
Is that the one in Ohio?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, that's your neck of the woods, Steve.
Well, it's on the other side of the state. So the complete opposite corner of the state.
Are you in Cleveland?
I am in a place called Conneaut, Ohio, which is an hour and a half, about an hour, a little over an hour east of Cleveland.
No, okay.
So I'm on the Pennsylvania.
Roman, you're out by Roman.
What's that?
You're out by Roman.
Yeah, Roman's not too far from me. I'm not exactly sure what town Roman lives in, but we run into each other on occasion. I'm all the way on the Pennsylvania state line, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and I live right up by Lake Erie. So I'm like, I could walk. The lake is 2 blocks from my house. It's north.
Wow.
And then, or 3 blocks, something like that. And then the Pennsylvania state line's maybe 2 miles away from where I'm at. So I'm right in that corner. And then the reseller rally's down in Cincinnati, so it's in the opposite corner.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a long drive.
He said he's in Mayfield Heights.
I feel sorry for him, but no, actually Mayfield Heights is a pretty nice place.
So we also lose an hour going that way. It's weird. It's directly north of us, maybe even a little to the west, but we still lose. We drive back into the Eastern time zone. So, and I know Jennifer's going. Jennifer, she bought Neil a ticket. I hope Neil shows up, but I don't know if Neil will show up or not.
So Roman would be about an hour west of me, ish.
Yeah, he talks about the bins out there are really good.
He likes the ones in Solon, I guess. I haven't been to them yet, but
yeah.
Eventually, when I get out that way, I will. The ones here aren't that great, but
there you go.
I have not been to the Akron Canton bins since I'm ignoring that stuff. I have not been to the Akron Canton bins for a couple of weeks because I've been doing the DoorDash stuff. So when we get, like I said, when we start feeling that we're better off, do I ever source in Erie, PA? All the time. That's where I do most of my DoorDashing too, because we're close.
Tommy, you gonna be in there? You guys gonna be near Huntsville? I thought I saw something in one of the shows that you said that you guys were coming close to here.
Garden. I don't prefer to source in Erie, but it's okay.
Decatur, that's close enough.
I did buy a couple nice DVDs at the Goodwill in Erie the other day. These ones. Now, some exercise DVDs can do really well. I forget what this one does, but it does pretty well. And this one does $30. So if you ever find it,
yeah, it's always
a buck a piece.
I try to tell people that, how do you know which DVDs are which? It's the strange, odd ones that are worth money. All the mass-produced ones, they made way too much.
The reduced Shakespeare Company. I have no idea what this is. Adam Long, Reed Martin, and Austin Tickner. I've never even heard of those people, but this one does $30.
Yeah, so add another one that I have to ship.
Yeah, Crazy Bins lost me as a customer because of their antics, but I used to go there every Monday.
I got 24 on Amazon and 2 on eBay to ship. Damn.
My wife is out that way today. She's doing her door dashing in Menor, and she likes the Goodwill there because she parts out stuff and she gets good stuff there.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Lebanon Bologna. No.
Tuesday night, I'll be at a reseller meetup.
I do not recommend cold water for whites. I recommend that you get married and do whatever your wife tells you to do. That's what I recommend.
So either come to the meetup or we can meet somewhere for lunch Tuesday. Either one. There's a group we've met 5 or 6 times. I guess there's 10 or 12 of us, and we hadn't met since October. So there's some entrepreneurial people are going to be there. I'm not sure this one's a little different.
I think it's reasonable. 120, is it 125 or whatever it is? You get the boat cruise, the dinner, that type of thing.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Get to hang out with Lonnie. Does Lonnie still go to that?
I don't know.
No, it's not that I didn't watch the show. I know it's Commonwealth, Pete and John.
Yeah.
Well, Lonnie's all the way in Louisiana anyway. I mean, that'd be a long trip. I know he used to, but that's a long trip.
Yeah, he was involved with the first one. I'm not sure about this one.
First couple, I think.
First couple, yeah.
Yeah, my ideas about certain people have changed over the years. There used to be a time that I wasn't a fan, but it's all right.
Yeah, so Philip, that's 100% correct. It is. If you're not familiar, look it up. That's 100%. Especially too if it's anything PBS, if it's anything Acorn, if it's any of the smaller production things, you'd be amazed that it's got some value. You know,
Roman, monetarily, I just don't want to do it yet. My goal this year is to try to get to the 127. But other than that, the reselling stuff I'm still doing reselling, but it's on the back burner I'm more part-time now than anything, just because I have to make money to get this stuff fixed. And then once I get it fixed, then we go back to reselling. And I'll still do DoorDash because I enjoy it.
Who is CP at Cincinnati Picker? John.
I'm sure it's a good time. I've seen, I know Roman's been to it, and I've seen the good times they have on that cruise. But
I did find some interesting ones. So we were at me and Al were at the place where I picked up all the Candyland games, and they had a bunch of DVDs, and we were scanning them. Turns out I picked up a bunch of new ones, but I very rarely scan the used ones. And for some reason, he might have scanned the first one. They had a bunch of the Amazing Race DVDs. If you see Amazing Race DVDs, pick those up. So we scanned. They had like 20 or 21 of them, maybe, or 18 or 19. Every one of them was worth a minimum of 25 U's, and they had ranks under 100,000. It was insane. So I have a bunch of those now.
I find it's worth it. I was taking a break the other day. I find it's worth just to go through your DVDs at your thrift if it's reasonable. Now, some of the thrift stores around here want to charge $4 or $5 for a DVD, which is silly.
Yeah.
But the one I went to the other day was $1. It took me less than 15 minutes to scan through the whole rack of just the new ones. I don't do used usually, unless it's something that stands out to me. And I've sold used ones for good money, but it doesn't take long.
When you're standing there with a scanner and got Scout IQ running, it doesn't take anything to just keep matching.
I did it right in the Amazon app. I didn't have my scanner with me, but it still took very little time, Yeah.
For those of you last week who were asking, do I have a affiliate link for Scout IQ? The answer is yes. It's in the chat. It's in the description below.
You know what?
Right after the show, I went and got one. I didn't realize they had affiliates.
I would look into Everlance for an affiliate as well, since you use
really?
them. I did see that they were sponsoring one of the DoorDash drivers I follow. Actual sponsorship. It might be something you want to look into, because they do that, and you use them a lot. So I mean, that's your preferred.
Yeah, I used them all the way to Brunswick, Georgia, and back. That's a nice.
And that's what I use for my tracker.
No matter where you're going, especially if you're going on a trip, it has a function where you can set everything. So for the next 3 days, I set everything to set it all as business miles, and then can turn it back to let me swipe one way or the other. But it was very, very nice feature that Everlance has. Allows you to classify. That entire trip was business. So, but every stop is a trip. So I stopped. I can't tell you how many times to all the little stores and all the towns that I went to. I was only on the interstate going down there for like 12 minutes.
I'm telling you, though, it doesn't matter what mileage tracker you're using, you should be using one. Don't write it down. Use a mileage tracker.
Right.
I mean, you can write it down if you're really good. I mean, in the old days, that's how we did it, but I would forget. I would never write it down.
And the phone never misses. As long as you're carrying the phone with you, it never misses. The nice thing
if you're making consistent
multiple cars,
or if you're making consistent trips, like if I go to the grocery store once a week, you can make it so that it knows that, depending on which tracker you're using, and that won't count as a business trip. It'll count as a personal trip, and you can set things up that way.
Like, we're not even answering that.
Well, then you count 0 miles on your taxes.
There's certain things, people will ask you what apps to get, what things in this business can you not live without? And I would move that tracker way up there, because it costs you money not to have it.
Yeah, I pay like $60 a year for it. It's not that expensive.
It's $5 a month.
What is it?
It's $5 a month.
Yeah, I think I pay for the year. They charge me every year.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't remember how I pay for mine.
everybody has like $55 for the whole year.
But I'm really bad with it, because it sort of keeps track of all your trips, and you have to go back and then remember, like, well, where did I go here? And is it business or personal? And you have to go back in time. If you're
Everybody has to give you a picture of the map whenever you look at it, so you can tell where it was.
Right.
I had Mile IQ for a long time. I don't remember why I switched to Everlance. I can't remember. But Mile IQ was a good program too. It's just preference.
I got to review some. They're saying that whenever I log into the videos, they're saying they suggest things that I bought that don't have reviews, and a bunch of it's reselling supplies. So I'm going to make some videos on the reselling. It's bubble wrap, it's Scotty peelers, it's I'm sure the box resizer doesn't have one either.
I still have not in my entire life bought a Scotty peeler.
What was wrong with you?
I don't know.
Other than everything we cover weekly.
We're not done yet. That's why I'm still on the show, because the things that are wrong with me will continue, and we haven't got to the bottom of it yet. I tend to use one of those plastic razor blades, though. I really like those.
Yeah, I use those
work
too.
really well.
Yeah, that's what we do. We use box cutters for that.
There's some things that make you money, and it's different things. Certain things in reselling make you money. Others make your life easier. And I would put the mileage app now as making you money, because you only have to lose a few miles a week, a few miles a month, and it costs you money. Not only your time, but it physically costs you money because you miss some miles.
I would put in route right up there with it too, because that saves you a lot of miles. It saves you a ton of miles. It gets you. It makes you more efficient.
Right, but like investing in tools, a lot like Scott has. It saves you time, which saves you money, because you could be using that time for something else. So one thing I want to do this year is get one of those pillow machines that you have and implement that, because I'm using so much bubble wrap and spending so much time on these larger items that we're probably spending an extra 15 to 30 minutes a day just shipping, because we don't have the right tools.
Yeah, and the paper tape machine is a game changer.
It is, yeah. Garden of Eden asks if we trust UPS to pick our stuff up at our front door. I do. I have no issues with them.
I would, but if I leave the house, I drive by the post office, so I just go up there.
UPS.
Like on Mondays and Fridays, we have our lives at 3. Our carrier doesn't come until 4, so I'll just leave it out right in front of the front door, and they're good about bringing it. They left me 3 returns though this time.
I've never had a problem with. We're not home a lot, so there's a spot we put it, and the driver knows whether I schedule that pickup or not. He's here. I have the free pickup, so
right.
He comes every day. He drives by my house every day to check whether I have a pickup or not, and I've never once had an issue, even when a substitute driver. In fact, they come earlier.
Nowadays, though, if your door is facing the street, you probably don't want to do that. My door is sort of facing the side, so they have to come around the side to actually get to my front door, and you can't see that I have packages from the street. But with porch pirates nowadays, I wouldn't leave anything out front that people can see.
You have to know your area too. I mean, if you live in an area where porch piracy is a bad thing, and it can be here, we've never had an issue with it, but you got to know your pain level, I guess.
I live at the end of a dead end street out in the country in Alabama. Nobody bothers packages. We'll leave something on the porch for 2 or 3 days. Never go out there and get it. They don't care around here. So liquidation pros, that's a tough one. You really need to speak to an accountant. The one thing I'd remind you is a lot of that is what kind of vehicle is it? I've made a lot more money on tax-wise on the Toyota Sienna, because it's got 215,000 miles on it. Had 14 when I got it, so now I'm at 201,000 business miles. That's all I ever drive it for. I've got a truck that if I want to do something else, I'll drive, or Johnny's car. So that is, just think about that. Right now it's 62 cents, but most of the time it's been 55 cents for the whole time I've had that. That's a huge tax deduction. I realize you can't. I do better than adding gas. And remember, but if I had a car that broke down a lot, or a car that needed maintenance more than a Toyota, maybe it's more efficient but it's just, the decision for me was because the van is so reliable. You'd have to ask somebody. I asked Jared about that, and the one thing you got to consider too is if your company owns it, you've got to have commercial insurance, which is much more expensive than regular. So there are added expenses to doing it that way. I know a lot of people do it that way, but
Talking about the vehicle thing, my vehicle is very efficient on fuel. So you get the same mileage deduction as I do. So in fact, I'm actually getting a little more than somebody with a higher,
So,
higher fuel consumption.
Amy, are you lying? Amy says, drop them off at lobby at work. Best free service ever. You charge your Tesla for free. That's the best service ever. Okay.
If you work at a place that ships UPS or USPS every day, it's free for you to just do it that way.
Drop packages off, charge car for free. Which one works?
She gets both. She don't have to pick.
She's living the high life up there, and
Yeah.
but she's got to live in Connecticut, so that kind of washes that out.
2 sheets per load. Are you talking dryer sheets or something? Because those things stink. My wife makes her own laundry soap, unscented, and we don't use dryer sheets. First of all, I have a problem with those kind of smells, but why are we talking about laundry?
Because you're so cuddly this morning.
Oh, Snuggles. I'm Snuggle. I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
So Brian, everybody's got to be who they are. He's watching other YouTubers, very regimented and strict with his processes, which is fine. Seems incredibly boring way of life. I've said this over and over, and you build your own business, you build it to your strengths and your personality, who you are. I would never take out the fun. Once you take out the fun and create it that much, if I create it too much as a regimented business, man, I get bored easy. I get my ADHD starts squirrel. I'll find anything else to do besides that. The beauty of this thing is you design it the way it works on your strengths. So
I agree with that. I think that you have to have some balance, but
Yep.
if your business is not performing up to your standards, you maybe, are looking for ways to increase your sales. That could be starting with you. Maybe you need a little bit more structure in your day to get those listings up. Get a lot of people that come on the channel and they want to know what they need to do. And the first thing you need to do is focus on, try to get up at the similar time every day, do similar things, get into a routine, and try to list every day if you can. That's what I try to do, and it just works.
I started doing that before I did, changed my whole scheme. And I can tell you the routine thing makes a lot of sense. And now I'm on this weird routine that I've never been on before. I get up earlier. I read books now. I mean, there's a whole aspect of my life that I was missing out on because I didn't have any sort of routine. Get up when I wanted, work when I wanted, that kind of thing. But there's a lot to be said about having a routine.
Yeah. Brian, that's 100% it, man. He said, that's my thoughts exactly, Scott. I firmly believe in his system for him. And that's why other people's systems, they're not right or wrong. They're their systems. And you've got to really get that in your head. We were talking about it earlier. You can't be someone else. But, if you do a lot of similar things that I do and I scream at you over and over, if you start 20, 30, you should be using a paper tape machine. You should have an air printer machine. I'm not lying that these things have made my life easier. So you can adapt tools, you can adapt processes and that kind of stuff, but you've still got to be yourself. You've still got to, because you're not going to be able to source what I do. I don't find what John finds, and I don't have some of the stuff John uses, but you don't have my local auction. So you don't have the ability to grab stuff at yard sales and stuff that we do. So everywhere, every place, everybody's got different opportunities. And so make it work for you,
Right. That's why I think it's a big mistake for people to watch these YouTube channels and to just try to be like what they see on their YouTube, because your circumstances are always going to be a little bit different. Even from someone, maybe your neighbor is going to have different circumstances than you. And it's just unfair to yourself to put yourself in that bubble where you're comparing yourself and trying to be like that person you're seeing on YouTube. So don't knock yourself if you're not doing, what they're doing because of that reason, and just work around your schedule. Steve has a different schedule than I have because he has to do something on the side at a certain time. For me, it's like I get up and I could probably stop at 6, but I enjoy what I do. There's times I'll stay up till 11 o'clock at night because I'm just what I look forward to doing, you know? Um, so it just depends on your situation and how much you really enjoy reselling, I think.
If something's not working, do something else. For
Yeah.
me right now, reselling wasn't working the way it should because I screwed it up. So right now I have to do something else to supplement that. And it's, doing what I'm doing isn't that much different than what I was doing anyway. It's going places and buying things, not buying really, but you're picking something up and dropping it off somewhere else. And kind of the same sort of thing as doing, say, RA or something. You're buying, I just don't have to bring inventory home anymore. I kind of like it. Now, do I think I want that to be my main gig for the rest of my life? No, I want to be home. I want to be reselling again, and I
Right.
will. It's not that I can't. It's just that I saw that there was a deficiency. I need to fix the deficiency, and to get fast, easy money, this is the way for me to do it. I say fast, easy. You're putting a lot of miles on your car, and I'm working 7 or 8 hours a day doing it, but
Yeah. No, a buddy of
still-
mine out here,
it's instant.
Biscuit Butt, he's in the same situation, and he's doing like 8, 9, 10 hours driving a day, and then he, whatever time he has left, he puts towards his YouTube. I mean, his eBay, but he'd rather be doing more eBay than the side gig, right? So it's just finding that.
I want to make it so that someday that eBay's back to my main gig again, which it will be. In the summertime, I feel that that'll change because of yard sales and things like that. We're winter here right now. So, but there's nothing wrong with making a change. If something's not working out for you, do something different. And that's where we're at, right? It wasn't working out for us. Now, my wife's eBay store is doing really well right now, although she's door dashing as well, but mine isn't. So, and to pay off all this debt that I created because I was an idiot, I have to work. I have to do something to fix that. And this is a fast way for me to, well, not fast. It's always going to take time. But because the money's instant on this app, I can have the money the same day. It makes it so that all my bills are going to get paid on time. And, we don't have to worry about that stuff.
Yeah.
It's really nice for me. Now, I'm in an area where it's possible for me to go one way or the other and make money. My town, I can't make money, but if I go 20 miles this way or 40 miles that way, I can. But it's not the same for everybody. So your circumstances are going to be different, and maybe this wouldn't work for you,
But I'd argue, and Scott said this many times before on this channel, I have too on mine, and that is whatever changes you implement, make sure you're uncomfortable. I like that, and it's not fun at first, but when you start seeing the results, it just reinforces that you need to keep staying uncomfortable, because the moment you get out there and start working, and you need to be entertained, and you need to put on videos, and that video ends, so you're looking for another one, you're wasting time. So you just need to get uncomfortable, and you actually need to treat it like a job.
Speaking of being uncomfortable, this whole show has been pretty uncomfortable for me.
Like, who do you bother after the, like, mine, Tom, and Todd's shows are over? Are you by yourself the rest of the day? You go bother your mom? What is it? So so Gardner Ben, this will be the last one. Then I got a blood pressure medicine is killing me. Best app to compare prices across all selling platforms. So there's not one that I know of that does it out of the instinctively. You have links on them. I currently use ASIN's in AZ Seller, and it, you've got an eBay button and whatever. It shows you Amazon, but it'll go to the other ones. All of them are similar like that. They will pull the Amazon. Hey, damn it! They'll pull the Amazon, and then you can hit a button to show you the eBay or the Amazon actual listing, and so they all work the same. I don't know if there's a best. There's just ones that you use. I like the one from ASIN's in because it has a lot of Keep It built in, and it tells you. Keep is another one that you could do a lot. Keep It as a lot of the same one. Keep It might be the best answer, because it'll show you what's on eBay and give you a lot of detailed information, including how many sellers and how much is in stock. So probably would look at
Okay.
Keeper first and then some of the others.
Peddling Profits. I see that they say their son makes $60 an hour doing DoorDash. I'm around 17 to 20 depending on the day, which, you know, is better than minimum wage, and it's better than what my eBay was doing, right? You know, recently. So,
Steve, I got a hack for you after the show. I'm gonna share with you.
all right. I am multi-apping as well. I'm using Uber Eats. So if there's a slow time with DoorDash, I'll turn on Uber Eats and take a couple orders. I don't like Uber Eats as much, but like I only ran one order with Uber Eats yesterday. It was 9 something, but it was only a couple of miles, so it made sense. And then I use Roadie. I haven't actually gotten a gig on Roadie yet. So whatever apps work here, that's what I'm going to use.
All right, everyone.
My OnlyFans page. I've been asked this question before, and OnlyFans won't allow me on the platform only because, you know,
He's the first person ever to get kicked off of OnlyFans.
Is you got to be in person. You can't snuggle across the screen. So there you go.
Yes, that's why
All right,
they wouldn't let me on the platform.
Enjoyed it. Make sure you check out John. He'll be live Friday. I don't know what time it is. It's 6
3
o'clock
p.m.
my time.
Pacific, 6 Eastern.
So
I have the shopping too on DoorDash and Uber Eats. By the way, go ahead. Sweetwater
all right.
out.
Roll
Use
Tide.
Tide. Use Tide.
Use Tide.
See you later.
What?